Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the United Regional Chambers update. This week, my guest is the Executive Director of New Hope, Marcia Szymanski. New Hope is an organization based in Attleboro, but covers many, many communities surrounding us. Marcia Szymanski, welcome.
Thank you, Jack. It's good to be here. I appreciate your invitation. Good to see you.
Good to see you. New Hope is a very, very important organization within our area and the many, many communities that you cover. I don't mean this disrespectfully, but unfortunately, we need an organization like yours, very, very much so. But first off, tell us a little bit about Marcia.
Okay, well, let's see. I've been at New Hope now 6 years next month. I can't believe it. It's time has flown. So I have been in the nonprofit world for probably 25 years, doing lots of different things, everything from community organizing to running programs in the Brockton area, domestic violence and sexual assault programs, as well as WIC programs, pregnant and parenting teen programs. And many years ago, I actually was the director of the Attleboro Family Planning Clinic here in the city. So that program is now closed, but not born and bred New Englander. I have to say my blanket back here is from the New Orleans Saints, so I'm not a New England Patriot fan, at least most of the time, but anyway, love New England. I've been here about 30 years, so anyway.
We won't hold that against you. We won't hold that against you.
All right.
Well, tell me, how many communities does New Hope cover now?
So New Hope covers 41 cities and towns. We go from Taunton really all the way up, if you go up 495, and then south of the Pike all the way out to Sturbridge. So we're in southern Worcester County, western Norfolk County, and northern Bristol County. So it's quite a swath.
And for those folks who don't really know, tell us what New Hope is.
Sure. So New Hope, first off, we've been around now 41 years, and we are a social service provider providing support to survivors of domestic and sexual violence, as well as support to their family members and close friends. So you don't have to be a survivor, you could be a family member and seek support from New Hope. And we have a range of programs, everything from 24/7 hotline. We have domestic violence shelters, counseling, advocacy. We have an education program. All of those services are free. Oh, we don't take insurance, so nothing goes into a medical record. They're completely free of charge. We do also work with people who perpetrate violence. We have what we call the Respect program, which is to really help people understand how they develop these belief systems around violence in a relationship, and then help them learn new ways of being in relationship. We do charge a small fee for that in order to hold people who perpetrate violence accountable. So, and then in the Worcester area, we have a supervised visitation center where we work with non-custodial parents to develop a more nurturing relationship with their children. So that's pretty much what we do, and it keeps us very busy.
Well, and on an average, how many clients do you service on a monthly basis?
Oh boy, let's see. Well, on a yearly basis, we probably serve about 7,000 to 8,000 people. So I'm not good at doing math in my head, what that comes out to a month. Yeah. I will say we get about 10 to 12 hotline calls a day, which it has gone up quite a bit recently. And we also reach probably over 20,000 people in the 41 town area through our education and outreach work. So it's a lot of folks. I think when you realize that 1 in 3 women and 1 in 7 men will experience some form of domestic or sexual violence over the course of their lifetime, you can see the depth of this problem and why the numbers are so high.
That's just amazing. Those numbers are that high, and you know, unfortunately, a lot of people try to hide that. I had the honor of sitting on the board of New Hope for 6 years, and got to witness some of the fantastic work that you and your team do. You said that some of the calls have gone up recently. Have you found the challenge of people having to stay at home with this COVID-19 has
Absolutely.
added to the problem?
Yeah, absolutely. What we're seeing when when the state first shut down, a lot of people obviously were being quarantined with the person who was perpetrating abuse. And so initially the calls kind of dropped off, particularly to the hotline. But as things have opened up, we're seeing more and more people reach out for help, and people are even more traumatized. We are seeing a lot more survivors who are experiencing suicidal ideation, which is very troubling. So yes, a lot more need. The need has gotten definitely greater, and we're struggling to keep up. So, we're doing what we can. We've actually instituted a number of groups so that we can get people into some sort of service. But I will say when we had to shut down our offices, we really were able to move to remote counseling similar to this format, but we use a HIPAA compliant format. So we're able to do face-to-face counseling via the internet. We also now have web chat through our website. So if folks want to go to our website, which is showing up there, you can click on the link to do some web chatting, and none of that chat is stored on the cloud. So when you leave, the whole chat just disappears. So there's some safety there. And then obviously people can call the hotline. So, and people are engaging. So there's a number of ways people can engage, and people are reaching out, which I'm thrilled that people are reaching out.
Yeah, I know that in one of our other Zoom meetings that you and I have been on, numerous ones over the last couple of months, that you mentioned that I think you called it the no-show rate has really diminished. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Right. So before COVID, I mean, we'd have a lot of people who would make appointments and then they would fail to show up. And that's not unexpected. Sometimes something comes up. Sometimes they can't get out of the house because the abuser is tracking them. They're fearful they're going to be found coming to New Hope. So we've had, maybe a 25% no-show rate over the past, maybe up to 30% at times. Now our no-show rate is practically nil. I mean, people are showing up. So it's as low as it's ever been. And it just speaks to the need that's out there, and that people are being really creative. A lot of people are, in their car on their way to the grocery store when they reach out to New Hope, because they know they have some privacy when they're in their car or when they're going to the drugstore. And whatever people can do, we're going to be there for them.
Now, to get a little ahead here, if somebody has an abuser at home that they're living with, or they're in a situation where they're in danger, they can reach out to New Hope, and New Hope can help them find a place, a shelter to go to?
We can help them find a place. The shelter system is woefully inadequate across the state of Massachusetts. We participate in a statewide count every year in September, where all of the DV providers across the state count every request they get in a 24-hour period. And then we note which requests we can serve and fulfill and which ones we can't. And we've been doing that at least for 6 years since I've been at New Hope. And it has been consistent that on that day, there's at least 200 to 300 people looking for shelter beds on that day that cannot access them because of lack of capacity. So it's really hard to access a shelter bed. Part of the reason is that when people get into shelter, because affordable housing is practically non-existent, they stay for a much longer period of time. Jack, when you were on the board, probably people stayed 40, 90 days max. Now we have people who unfortunately are 8, 9, 10 months. We've had people stay over a year because they can't find housing. So it's really difficult. But what we can do, I don't want people not to call. What we can do is we can provide them with other resources, and we can help them with safety planning so that they can figure out how to keep themselves safe when they know that a domestic violence incident is about to occur, because we know the cycle of violence, we know what the pattern is, we can educate the survivor on that pattern so that they can figure out a way to keep themselves safe. And we can process with them. I mean, we've done lots of creative things, and we also are part of the homeless network in Attleboro, the GB Catch. So we work closely with GB Catch and some of the other homeless networks in our other areas. So we do what we can, but it's that's probably the most difficult thing.
Part of the job right now is finding a safe shelter for them.
Yeah, and when somebody's ready to leave, excuse me for just 1 minute, when someone has made that decision and they're ready to leave, it's heart-wrenching to not be able to offer them a space, because you really want to act when someone is ready, and that's so hard, that's so difficult.
Now, with my experience, and I don't know how much it has changed since I've been on there. You do a lot of interaction with the local police departments. And,
we do, yes.
A lot of them are very, very supportive of what you do.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. We currently we're in 12 police stations. We have advocates in 10 police stations in Bristol County, and we have an advocate that splits her time between the Southbridge and Webster Police Department. So we work closely with the police, yes.
Yeah, because unfortunately they see it all firsthand, and you're kind of one of the big resources for them when they're trying to help out the citizens.
Yep. It's a good connection, and then we also have advocates in the courts. So if folks want to go to the legal route and try to get a restraining order or a protection order, our advocates, well, through COVID-19, it's been very difficult. As you know, the courts have been closed, and that's been another stressor on us, is trying to help people who need a restraining order when they can't get into the courts. But we're working as diligently as we can with the courts to try to figure out, as they begin to open, how we can better support survivors.
Well, Marcia, tell us, how can people support New Hope? How can we help New Hope?
Well, I think first off, I just want to thank, through this whole COVID, I want to thank the community, because we've gotten a tremendous amount of support from folks in terms of people reaching out. The Stronger Together Fund, many of the local banks, community organizations, folks like Sensata. I can't even name all the folks that have really pitched in, and some people just sending checks. So I really want to thank everyone for that. I think, as always, gift cards for clients is always needed, to help them. We've had to move some of our shelter clients into extended stay hotels. And so we've had to give them gift cards or buy additional groceries for them so that they can do some cooking. So any kind of gift cards to grocery stores, drug stores would be helpful. We also have some young kids, so things like diapers, baby wipes, baby food, that's always a big help. And also PPE equipment. PPE equipment, because we are always trying to find masks, gloves, sanitizing liquids. So if people have access to any PPE equipment, that would be fabulous as well.
Well, Marcia, you and your team do a tremendous job for an awful lot of folks, in the different 41 communities that you service, and we really appreciate it. We've had a long-standing relationship, the Chamber and New Hope. We hope to continue that. And hopefully we can find ways to help you as well. Is there any last minute things that you'd like to share with us?
No, I would just like to, hopefully they'll put the hotline number back up. And I would just say to the Chamber, to you, Jack, and Rebecca, and all of the Chamber, yes, it's been a long and fruitful relationship, and we're really grateful for all the Chamber does and for the entire community, because as I always say, we can't do this work alone. So thank you.
We are in this together. Marcia, thank you very much for being my guest this week.
Thank you, Jack. Anytime.
Okay. Enjoy your vacation next week.
I will. Okay. Bye-bye.
Folks, thank you very much for joining us again this week. Hopefully we'll see you next Wednesday. Next Wednesday we have a couple of folks from Bridgewater State University who are going to come and share with us some of the things that they've had to do and are preparing to do. for their fall semesters. So again, thank you once again, Dave over at AACS and AACS for hosting our show each week. If there's anything that you think the Chamber can do to help you in any way, please reach out, give us a call. We're here for you. Thank you all. Have a great week. Stay safe.